quite crucial. Although this World Cup was ostensibly South Africa's, it was not confined to the Republic. On the second day, the Cup moved north. Zimbabwe have been a part of every World Cup by 1979, but for Namibia, well, this was their debut. Craig Wishart had them wishing they'd waited rather longer. Wishart continued on, making the highest score by a Zimbabwean in one-day internationals, the fifth highest in Cup history. In the process, he made the Namibian bowlers look third-rate, hardly what those who supported the inclusion of more fledgling teams into the Cup had wanted to see.
The last ball of the innings goes for 2 runs. Craig Wishart ends on 172. The last 10 overs of this innings went for exactly 100 runs. Zimbabwe end on 340 for 2. Comfortably the highest total they've scored in one-day internationals.
In the afternoon, however, the weather turned nasty, and the only issue was whether Zimbabwe could get through 25 overs before the rain set in. When they did, the result was assured. For the first time in this World Cup, but as it would prove, not the last, the Duckworth-Lewis method of calculating results after overs are lost was brought into play. The supporters of this system assured us that this was the fairest way of deciding interrupted games. Fans without calculators and computer printouts were not so sure. Back in South Africa, in Bloemfontein, the highly rated New Zealanders ran into a storm of a different kind, a storm named Jayasuriya. He had starred in his country's famous World Cup triumph in 1996. Now the Sri Lankan captain went on to his century.
He is a wonderful player, and what a way to start the tournament. A champion.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Brilliant. His 16th one-day international. He's 4th against New Zealand. He's 1st in the World Cup, and there's nothing better than the captain getting runs, is there?
After that early onslaught, New Zealand had done well to keep Sri Lanka below 300. Now, much would depend on how they coped with the great Newealand, or so we thought. Here's Gunaratne to Fleming.
That's taken outside edge. Sangakkara makes no mistake. 2 wickets in 2 overs. And New Zealand in big, big trouble. 2 for 2. Gets the single, and this is a very good 100. First in one-day internationals, and it's come at a time when the other batsmen have struggled.
In the end, Scott Styrus's superb lone hand was the only joy for the Black Caps. With one team performance in which many of their star players had contributed, the Sri Lankans had established themselves as a real threat to the tournament favourites, the host South Africa, and of course the defending champions Australia.